12-inch ones on farms, the plants grow twice as big. They've done some experiments where they'll have one area where they don't use the vortex water and another area where they do use it, and they end up with the vortexing water. The plants grow much bigger and they look much healthier.
Mark, can you explain in regards to setting up the system in countries that have, for example, arsenic in the water, and what needs to be done to the system for these countries?
Well, the system will take care of that because this membrane is so small, 0.0001, it will absorb the arsenic. You might have to change the membrane more often than you would normally, but there's medias that we get from Germany. We have a company that we work with, and they have all these different medias that take care of arsenic, chromium, iron, high levels of all different kinds of contaminants. So they have designed different medias. A media means the stuff that's inside a filter. So the powder that's in there is called a media. And so what they've done is they have designed these different medias that will take care of all these different problems. So if somebody wants to do a big system, they can actually have tanks full of the different ingredients that have been known, to take care of arsenic and and other issues.
What about parasites? How do you deal with that in countries that the water might be influenced by parasites?
Well, parasites are actually quite big, so they're actually quite easy to take out just with regular filtration. In fact, this 0.2 micron filter takes out all the parasites. Now, just to be safe, what you can also do, if you not only want to get rid of them, but you really want to kill them off, is you use a UV light, which is a light, ultraviolet, and when the water runs through, it completely, kills the parasites. Also, the vortexing cuts down on the bacteria and actually does help with parasites also. But between this filter here and the UV, if you didn't want to have the reverse osmosis system, some countries, they maybe want to just have filtration. So if you had this filter here and 3 of these fluoride filters, you could also add any other kind of media you want to add to this. So, and then you have a UV light after that. You could have a complete system that would also take out all the parasites, any arsenic, any other problems. A lot of people have those machines, those like Kangen and different kinds of water making machines. And those machines, they basically are electrolysis process that basically they split the molecule off of the water, and so it enlivens the water, energizes it, and makes it low ORP. So the theory is you drink this water and it's going to heal your body. It's going to absorb toxins out of the body. So in that way, I think it does work fairly well for absorbing toxins out of the body. The only problem I have with that water is it doesn't really add anything back in. So if people have an issue with mineral depletion and they want to detoxify, but you don't want to do it forever. So maybe you spend 2 or 3 weeks or a month drinking that water, and then you do a rebuild after that where you start putting minerals back into your body. With our system, we first get the water super clean, and then we add the minerals right at the same time. The other thing with that system, it won't work with when you get the water completely clean, where there's no dissolved particles in the water anymore, the TDS, total dissolved solids. When that's completely out of the water, the electrolysis process won't work because it needs particles to vibrate against each other, and if it doesn't have that, it won't go through that process, and the water will just run through the machine. So we developed a system for those people because in those machines they have 2 little small filters. Let's say you have fluoride in your water and you're trying to make water that's going to clean the body. Well, now you're making the fluoride more bioavailable to the body by not cleaning it out of the water. So if you run it through this filter and 3 of these fluoride filters, then you can run it as a pre-filtration system to those machines. Then you will have the water will be much cleaner, and when you're making the water, you can trust that it's not going to be putting stuff back in, and it will be very, very good.
Does this system make the water pH higher than a 7?
Yes. So with our system, it's usually around 10, 9.5 to 10 when it starts. And after a year, year and a half, it maybe drops down to about 8.5. Then when it gets down to around 7, 7.5, you might want to change the filter.
Which filter, I'm sorry, which filter is the one that does that?
This is the Everest alkaline filter is the one that raises the pH. So basically, here's the thing. City water is going to be around 8 anyway because they add soda ash, they add additives to the water to make it high, the pH high in it. So that's not really a good measure. If you're going to take bottled water that's 2.5 or 3, it's very acidic, and then you add the minerals back in and you get it up to a 9 or a 10, that's a dramatic improvement in that water. With the water that we make, we get it down to where it's about 2.5, 3. It's very acidic, and then because we get it very clean, so we're taking all the minerals out. The more minerals you put in the water, the more the pH is raised, so the more alkaline it becomes. So by adding the minerals back in, you're going to have much, much higher alkaline pH water that's much healthier to drink.
Now, the difference between this system and the machines that say that they make the water, alkaline or pH 9 or 10, like for example the Kangen one, what is the difference between this system and those machines?
Well, the thing is with those machines, they're not adding minerals to the water. They're just taking the existing minerals in the tap water and vibrating them, and then it's raising the pH and it's lowering the ORP, but it's the electrolysis process that does that. After a day or two, it loses its charge completely and it's back down to 0. So we've done experiments where we've put our water in a glass jar for 2 or 3 weeks, and we measure the pH and ORP, and it's still very high. pH is still up around 9 or 10, and the ORP is still minus 200 or 300. So that water is basically, everybody talks about Kangen and these different machines, and they charge a lot for these machines, maybe $4,000. And the other thing that I have an issue with the machines is they use these platinum plates that are coated with different kinds of metals. And the issue I have with that is that some of that's going to leach into the water. So if you do testing on do hair analysis on people that drink that water, I had a friend who was a homeopath who did that, and he found that they had high levels of metals in their system. And he said, you drink this water, and I think it was whatever the metal was, it was titanium and the different metals they use on these plates. And he asked, do you use one of these machines? And they said yes. And so then he started testing a lot of different people, and they had higher metals in their system. So for some people, they'd swear by this. They love this water. I'm not here to say it's not good to drink it. I mean, if you want to, people have different ailments, different things go on, they get improvement from it, that's great. But I kind of try to take a more natural approach, which is the most important thing is to get the water clean. The other issue I really have is that they didn't develop a filtration system within the machine that cleans the water. So what's the point of having a water that's going to cleanse the system when you don't even have filtration that's going to clean the water before you introduce it into your system? So to me and they don't talk about that in their presentation. I asked that question in a few presentations, and about fluoride and different things, the guys just stand there and they don't know what to say. So here's the system with all the different filters. There's 3 pre-filters, and then it goes into the membrane. Then it goes through the fluoride filter and through the mineral filter that has all the minerals in it. And then it goes down, and then it makes a very small amount of water at a time. So then we have a storage tank back here, and the storage tank is pressurized. So when the water runs through all the filtration, it goes clean with the minerals in it, into the storage tank. And then on the way out, it goes through this vortex pipe here. And so out of the storage tank, goes back through this carbon filter here, and then in through this vortex, and then out through the top. Here is where you get all your water. So you can so it comes out, it's really clean. Tastes excellent. And so municipalities and cities, they do a pretty good job. in. So it's not the best thing for the body. And so by filtering that out with other things in the water that are detrimental, you end up with a better system. So we have whole house systems that will get rid of, filter that out, and you know, and that's good for your bathing and your showering. For your drinking, you want to even do more extensive filtration. So we do the other system that we add, 6 to 8 more filters on it. And that's really the best way to go. Some of these companies, they say, you can drink from any tap in the house, and they give you this carbon tank, and basically that carbon tank does take out chlorine and chloramines, but it doesn't take out fluoride, it doesn't take out arsenic, it doesn't take out lead, or a lot of other contaminants in the water. So if you get a water company coming to you and say, once we put our water system in, you can drink from any tap in the house, ask them about fluoride. Well, does your system take out fluoride? And then watch them not say another word. Anyway, that's just something to know if you ever get a water demonstration done at your office or at your house. One thing that we are going to offer is we have systems that are available for home, office, also for clinics, and we can do any kind of custom system. So if you have a problem with arsenic, or you have anything that's going on in your water and you want to have the water be very clean, we can develop a system for you, for your clinic and for your home or your office. I'm part of the Integrative Cancer Therapy Centers, and we have a network of doctors that do alternative therapies for cancer patients and all over the world. And these doctors, like Dr. John Jimenez, use this system and they recommend it.